below zero hits us in life. Built for the cold, you say? That ain't right. Too cold for the average Joe, just right for those who hear the show. In the image of greatness you were made, but taught by the world to be played. A new generation, we're building. No victims, we're creating. Them haters, keep hating, cause Gen Zero, we blazing. Welcome to another episode of the Built for the Cold podcast. Too cold for the average Joe, just right for me and the listeners and viewers of this show. We are finishing up very close here to our separation season series. Again, for those of you who've been following, some things to really hone in on to separate ourselves during this time of year. So, as many of you remember, up to this point, we've talked about many things, right? From handling adversity to understanding we get in life what we accept, not necessarily what we want, that we're more afraid of success than we are actually of fear, how to remain consistent. We even just talked about recently something called spiritual alignment and the importance of that, right? Aside from just like evaluating the health of your soul and actually creating energy in your own life for the universe to actually come to your aid to support you, we talk about something that's, again, for some of you might feel like cuckoo like this, and energy and alignment and vibration and lightness. If you've heard of these different things, there's actually a lot of science and metaphysics and quantum physics behind it. I'm not going to nerd you out with all that stuff, okay? I'm going to keep it very simple. Napoleon Hill, in his book called Think and Grow Rich, calls it infinite intelligence. It's accessing intelligence beyond our understanding. Some of the people call it universal intelligence. Some people say energy, vibration, consciousness, okay? I'm going to give you kind of a summary, kind of 7 simple steps, and then I'm going to kind of break this down for you guys to really understand it and how you can apply it to your own life this time of year, okay? So the first thing Hill talks about is just having a definite burning desire, okay? You have to back it up with unshakable faith. You have to charge your mind with emotion. Not emotion as like emotionally driven, but in a way that's like backed by like faith and desire and truly wanting something like deep within. Some people are more motivated by the nightmare than they are the dream. That is also an emotion. But you actually want to implant this goal in your subconscious. Infinite intelligence does not happen from a reasoning, analytical human brain from that standpoint. It's more of like the subconscious things we think and believe about ourselves. It's being able to actually quiet the conscious mind fairly regularly so you actually let that flow through you. There is a key to staying persistent in any consistent action that you have to see things through that also unlocks infinite intelligence. And the final thing Hill talks about, right, in summary, is following those intuitive nudges immediately. Like one of my mentors in health and energy used to say this all the time. He still does today. Success loves speed, poverty loves delay. So if you get this nudge and you feel like, hey, I need to be doing this, I need to go in this direction, there's some intuition in me to go. If you delay in that, you don't command, right, the energy and the influences of infinite intelligence to come to your aid to help you. That's why people that like see a situation and take their time to go think about it, they take their time to go like, oh, I need to make sure this is the right decision. Again, that's reason, that's your conscious brain. You're not unlocking the creativeness of the universe. Therefore, you're not acting based off your intuition, and that gut intuition, any nudge you see there, you act on that immediately. The universe and infinite intelligence come to support you, okay? So we talked about this. Infinite intelligence and access to that type of information does not happen in your conscious or analytical brain. I don't know if any of you have ever heard this, right? There's a great book out there called As a Man Thinketh. You are what you think about yourself. Now, I'm going to add to that here, especially in terms of infinite intelligence. You are what you think about subconsciously. Your subconscious thought that goes on at night, just how you see yourself, how you act and behave. I'll give you an example because obviously many of you know I'm in fitness, okay? And I've been in it for a long time, but like a fit person has so many behaviors that are influenced at a subconscious level, they don't even think about it. Like going to the gym, like eating healthy or not. It's drilled into them subconsciously over persistent time frames for a long time. That's why it's simpler for them to keep it going because the habit's already been built and it's unlocked the subconscious part of sticking to habits. Okay, that's why that works. This is how you know also too, when you have infinite intelligence working for you, opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere, right? You see people that are like, hey, how do they luck out? How do they get the breaks? Well, there's probably some areas of what Napoleon Hill's formula talks about, accessing infinite intelligence, working for them. Probably has to do with the fact that they're also very spiritually aligned in their own realm, in their own way, doing things that actually support the unlocking of this knowledge. Okay. The right people gravitate toward you. You start aligning with people that actually follow your values, that actually are people that are going to lift you up, help you grow, help you get to that next level, not people that are going to kind of suck time, suck energy, suck your mentality away, like tell you all your dreams and goals are, goofy and outrageous. Why would anyone ever pursue that? A lot of people, and unfortunately some of you, still surround yourself with people like this, hoping that one day they're going to change. I'm just going to tell you right now from personal experience, the sooner you let go of those people, still love them from a distance, but the sooner you let go of those people, the amount of things that will be unlocked in your life is unreal. Like every single level, like we personally climbed to, has been an unlocking of different relationships, which has also come with letting a lot of past relationships and friendships go. Doesn't mean I don't love them, doesn't mean I don't support them, but it's now from a distance. Because otherwise, if I stay where they are, I'm going to have the life they have. And many people can't get outside of that sometimes. That's what I see. Okay. But it's having that internal compass. When an infinite intelligence is working for you, you have the internal compass to know how to protect yourself against those people, against bad habits, against bad environments, against bad choices. You actually get protection from the universe in terms of understanding where to act, where to be, how not to. Because again, it's all in your subconscious. You're not even thinking about it most of the time. It's working for you subconsciously. Here's how you know, by the way, if you have the ability. This is based off my personal experience, by the way, having, I would just say multiple times, like I will be training on things on this board right here. This board, by the way, I'm not sponsored by Board or whatever. It's not an endorsement for them. This board has been one of the best investments that I've ever made, because when I'm teaching, when I'm starting to like teach a team on different sales training and concepts, there will be ideas that come to my head and connections of ideas I have never trained on ever, had zero practice on, quite frankly, hadn't even had the exact experience in that specific industry. And then all of a sudden, some idea gets unlocked, the team goes, applies it, and then gets crazy radical results with it. And it just popped into my head, right? Those are the types of experiences you get where, like on the spot, ideas you've never had until that moment just flow and they just start coming to you. Okay, now I'll explain some principles why that happens, but ideas just flow. This is why entrepreneurs, like think of it, that they have to be aligned in certain areas for ideas to flow to them, for them to work on, and they command the energy of the universe who need infinite intelligence. It's almost like it's a frequency that comes to you to those in need of asking for it. Okay, that's really what it is. This is also how you know. You have close friends, and I experienced this over and over and over and over again. You have close friends, joins and thoughts. Like I'll get a random text. I was just thinking about this today, right? From a friend, like not like right now, but I'm just saying that's what would happen. Like a friend texts me on something. It's like, how are you thinking about that? I was just thinking about that. Now, my friend circle is very, very small, and I know all of them have this ability to access the intelligence I'm talking to you about, right? So I know they're experiencing it. I know they're aligning themselves with a lot of natural order of the universe. And so that's where like they'll text me on something. We haven't talked in like 3 months. By the way, best friendships they're not quantified based off how often you're communicating. It's the quality of communication and the ideas that are stimulated and all the different things you actually talk about. Because most friendships, I'm just going to call a spade and how I see it is, most people are just like kind of catching up and they're just friends by association of whatever they're doing versus actually improving each other's lives. That's a whole different topic to get into at a separate time. But this is what I observe is when you have those close friends that are also plugged into infinite intelligence, you tend to have like epiphanies or thoughts all around like the same time frame. It's weird. It's like all of a sudden, all of us like randomly without knowing it, we all just plugged in this energy today. And this is what we all learned. And we have our own different takes on it, but we all talk about it. And it happens at random. Okay. Here's what you also know. You can feel the pain of humanity. I could bring up so many different events. Okay. Doesn't matter. And I'm not here to talk politics either. That doesn't matter either. I think it's just like you could say the California fires or when Lahaina happened or the Charlie Kirk situation or well, whatever it might be, right? you feeling the pain of humanity, why it bothered you, even though you didn't know who the person was. Some of you barely even knew who Charlie Kirk was, and that's fine. I'm not here to say you needed to or didn't need to. You felt this deep sense of what is going on? What is wrong with the world? Why is this okay? Like all that stuff, that deep pain you felt that you couldn't explain, that means you're plugging into the energy of infinite intelligence. That's based off personal experience. Now, what opens this ability? What allows you to have this ability that Napoleon Hill talks about? Again, I got this term from Napoleon Hill. I'm sure there's others that talk about it, but just to share kind of where my source is and where I get it from, it's in the back of the book called Think and Grow Rich. If you want to take a read, I suggest it. It's phenomenal. But we talked last time about spiritual alignment. The more spiritual aligned you are, the more vices and drugs you don't have in your life, and the more positive habits subconsciously being burned through your subconscious, allowing you to put physically yourself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually in places and times and opportunities to get the things that command infinite intelligence to work for you. Okay. Some of that also includes, hey, being in service to others, living out what you feel is your God-given purpose. Those without purpose rarely ever command infinite intelligence to work for them because they're not putting themselves out there in service to others. They're living a more like selfish-based life, consumer-based life. It's always about me, me, me. And if something doesn't happen their way, it's like, oh, why me? I'm a victim, boo-hoo, like all this stuff that they do. That doesn't command the universe's energy and access to infinite intelligence to reward that person. It doesn't. That's not how it works. So if you're in service to helping others get what they want, the universe is going to reward you for that. We talked before about driven by emotion, specifically driven by fate and desire. How do you think entrepreneurs get all their amazing ideas? It's exactly where it comes from. Infinite intelligence. Tapping into intelligence that not everyone else understands the ability how to. That's how they get ideas that others don't. There's a science behind this. Again, I'm not going to go into quantum physics, all that stuff. This is the basics of this science, okay? Especially during this time of year. Think of how you just accessing things and getting in alignment with yourself and the health of your soul. That could be the one thing you do during separation season that completely radically changes how you start 2026. That's why we're going through this, right? But most importantly, infinite intelligence only responds to a demand. What do I mean by demand? And funny how this aligns, like I didn't even, again, when I'm building this series, it's kind of like a step-by-step. By no means did I even have this, but it was, again, this is an infinite intelligent idea that came to me right as I was writing this out and summarizing the different thoughts, different kinds of demands, a specific problem, a burning desire, a committed goal, intense focus, persistence over time. Ironically, because how the universe aligns in thought, it aligned with everything that I had talked up in almost in order up to this point, which was pretty wild revelation as I was writing this out to share with you guys today, right? Because the demand of a specific problem, well, what's a specific problem? How we handle adversity. The different things that we see and how we handle adversity, when we handle it the right way, infinite intelligence comes to us in that demand because we need to solve this problem. A burning desire. Well, do we get what we want or get what we accept? So if you accept, right, your whole life operates around what you accept of your life. What are you going to accept? That is a stronger burning desire than just what you want, right? Because everyone has wants. Why do most people don't get what they want? Because they get what they accept, right? And so the few that understand, hey, I am this, and it creates that burning intelligence to come to your aid to happen. A committed goal. Well, an intense focus. We talked about these two. The fear of success. If you're afraid of success and don't know how to get out of that trap and understand like, hey, you are putting like your life on the line per se. I mean, I really think like the only people that put their real life on the line are like maybe cops, military, people in healthcare, like physically put their life on the line. But I'm just talking about like getting outside of your comfort zone, the simple, that seemingly sometimes isn't easy way of getting out of like your own way and not fearing success. Because if you fear success, how can you ever create a committed goal? How can you ever build intense focus? You can't. You can't demand infinite intelligence to come to your aid if you don't have those two. And then the final one, we hammered this one home, and I gave you guys like 10 steps on how to do it. Persistence over time. The universe and infinite intelligence comes to those who are willing to stay persistent and consistent in achieving a worthwhile goal for them. And this is why people that change opportunities every 3 months, that go jump to the next thing if you're in sales, sorry, but calling out right now. If you jump to the next thing too soon without being persistent to see it through, right? You're always changing your diet. You're always changing your workout routine. You're changing your relationships every 2 weeks. Infinite intelligence is not going to come to your aid because you don't have any persistence to demand the need for something beyond yourself. And this is why most people, as you can see, not getting these other things aligned closes them off from getting what I believe, biasly and accurately, the most powerful force you could ever unlock in your life. And that is your access to infinite intelligence. So I hope this helps today. We're almost done with this series. Excited and thankful for all of you that have plugged in this far. Hope it's been helpful. Hope it's allowed you to kind of see different things in a different way so you can make this holiday season the one you truly separate yourself and you'll never forget. We'll see you on the next one.
This is where winners learn to be great. Built for the cold, you say? That damn straight. The lessons, the love, the insights from above. Hope you take them and grow, even with another cup of Joe. Thank you for dropping in and listening to the show.